Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Monday, February the 27th. The year is 2023. Let's talk trading. How to fix your trading problem with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. First, what we're going to do is we're just going to go through the charts that we or displays that we normally have. We talk about risk management, never losing more than you're willing to lose on any one particular trade. Really big. In other words, make sure your position size is proper and that your stop loss is in place. So, if your problem is you fail to put in stop loss, how do you fix that? That's what we're leading up to. Talk about exiting with a small loss, exiting with a small loss in reverse, riding a loss in reverse versus exiting with a profit, adding the position when in profit and averaging in. So when you're talking to yourself, when you're in a trade, these are the things that you basically, the questions that you need to answer, what to do. And brain management. So many people talk about FOMO, fear of missing out, or FOLO, fear of losing out, or ROMO, regret of missing out, or ROGO, regret of getting out, or ROBS, regret of being stupid. And, if you do any of these things, that's pain, but it's not coming from the market. It's coming from your reaction to the market, which is your brain. And that gets to the next new screen, brain psychology. One of the things that I learned years ago, that thoughts and beliefs, that's your foundation. And your thoughts and your beliefs affect your feelings, and your feelings affect your attitude, and your attitude affects your behavior and actions. So, if you're not putting in a stop loss, you've got a thought or a belief around that stop loss that's making you not put the stop loss in. So until you change your thought or belief, you're not going to change that action. It's that simple. I think Walmal mentioned it, but he's got a master's in psychology. So Walmal, you want to put your 4 cents in since you've got a master's? You get the 2 cents twice.
I'll just give you 2 cents. But yeah, you know, it's true. Everything that you said is true. At least, we know from a behavioral point of view that it absolutely is true. What we think, is going to affect what we do, and it affects our feelings. It affects everything about us. And and the question of what you think, that's always the age-old question. Where does it come from? If you're a religious person, a lot of your stuff's going to come from faith and whatever that structure is. If you're a non-religious person, then it's going to come around again a different type of faith. It's going to be based on what you see in the world, which then goes and creates your thoughts. Which then goes and can create beliefs, an entire belief system, and how you go about life. And so, what has this got to do with trading? Well, the thing is, if you're sitting here all of the time thinking, I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose, I don't know why I'm doing this, guess what you're going to do? You're going to lose. And the reason why you're going to lose is because what you're going to do is you're going to go and, I'm not saying you're going to do it purposely, but subconsciously, you're going to wind up always being so fearful that you get into a win, you're so fearful that you're going to take a loss, you punch out. So you punch out, with two points, and then you go and say, oh man, if I only would have stayed there, I would have had 4 pips, I would have had 10 pips, or whatever your methodology, allows you to go and get. And then you sit there and then you make it worse, because then you're sitting there with Romo, with regret of missing out on the potential of a big win, and you wind up with all those different things that play into it, and it just becomes self-fulfilling, and that's the problem. It becomes self-fulfilling, and at the same time, you can go, if you've got a good attitude, or you got that you believe that you can go and do this, and even when things go against you, you still believe that you can go and do it. And I'm not saying be, get to the point where you're being foolish. If something's not working and it's clear that it's not working time in and time again, well, maybe there's something else that needs to be addressed. But the reality is, if you got a decent methodology and you got decent rules around your money management and everything else, and you've got a positive attitude with it, what's going to happen is that you're going to take your wins and you're going to be happy with it. And I will go as far as to say, you don't need to be exuberant about it. You need to be happy about it. And when things don't go your way, you need to be happy about it. And you say, how can you be happy about taking a loss? Well, the thing that you're happy about is I followed my rules. And that's what it always comes down to. Because if you got that positive thought, that positive belief, and you go and follow what you're supposed to be doing, you find the things that you did right. And if you find the things that you did right, it's going to be, again, self-fulfilling. You're going to continue to do the things that are right. And eventually that's going to go and, wind up being, positive in the bank drawer, and that, at least that's how I look at trading, Now, I'm going to be a little bit transparent here. I hate trading Mondays. I do. I don't know why. I sit down on Monday and I just, quivers in the stomach, fearful, and I think, Tiro, you can go and you can attest to it. I mean, every Monday I say something like that. And it's like, and it's funny because they, my big loss days have always occurred on Monday. Okay. So that kind of feeds into that. And my actual amount of winnings on Mondays, and when you look at if you graph it out, you can see it. It's pretty obvious. Mondays I don't do very well. And, like for instance, today, my efficiency, is like 79%. And, Tira, you said earlier, to me, well, most people would kill for that. Well, because of the methodology I'm trading, I need to go and have that number higher. But, I go into a trade and it just seems like things go against me. I get tied up. I don't do what I'm supposed to do. I get, in fact, once today, definitely, maybe twice today, I got myself into situations where I should have punched out, with a small loss, and it's been happy because I followed the rules, and, I got tied up in my own, negative thought process and wound up having to write it out. And I got lucky, I'm going to be honest with you. I got lucky. I was able to trade, was able to come back the other way from me. I was actually able to even make some money off of it. But the thing is, it wasn't because of anything that I did right. It was because the market gods went and smiled upon me. And that's not a good place to be. That's not what you should be doing. What you need to be doing is you need to, be able to go and look at things from a positive point of view so that you have a clear head, you're able to think well, and make good, objective, decisions based on your rule set.
Yeah, and that's true. And there's something else that we need to talk about is basically either system fiddling or system hopping. You don't need to do that. That's not where the problem lies, because when you look at, life, the world, it's not that we don't know how to do things. And I was watching a video or reading something, and somebody else said this, and they said, it's not that we don't know how to do things, we just don't do them. I mean, the problems that we have as a society here in the US of A, obesity. We know how to fix that in most cases. If it's not hereditary, it's real simple. Eat less, move more. Things about smoking. We know it's not good for us, but what happens? Some people choose to smoke. And you can just go down the list, alcohol, drugs. People know this stuff's not good. But what do? They've got some thought or belief that's affecting their feelings, which affects their attitude, which, what they go, oh, what the heck? What's one more donut? What's one more cigarette? What's one more drink? It affects their behavior and attitude. So bringing it back to trading, doesn't matter if you're trading one of my methods, rat zone, wick zone, buy zone, whatever, or somebody else's method, squiggly line, crossover, Renko. None of that really matters if you've got a thought or belief. because you're making a mistake somehow. And taking a loss isn't necessarily making a mistake. Taking a big loss, failing to, observe your money management, that's a mistake. And so you have to check yourself. What's making you do that? One of my big mistakes was after a three ball, I'll say a three ball on top, I would go long, only to see price reverse and, make me go and draw down. And so what am I going to do now? It's like, I don't know why I kept thinking that, but my new thought is I'm just not going to do it. It's like, no, it's now time to wait. It's now time to reassess the market, not use the old assessment because there's a three ball. Yeah, it could go up, but let's just wait, and really take a look at it. Is that three ball around other three balls? Because if it is, probably price is going to reverse off of it. There's no reason for me to suffer through 10 or 20 pips of drawdown and then try to resolve it. Or another one for me was trading the last minute or first minute of the hour. I usually guess wrong. Part of it was because of that three ball problem. But so I just said, I'm going to have a thought and belief. This is not my trading time. Therefore, I'm not going to trade. And I just, repeat it. If I have to, I leave the room or I look at something else because you have to figure out what you need to do to change that thought or belief, okay, and get down to it. And so some things are observable. So like Walmal says he doesn't trade well on Mondays. Well, then maybe you could test that out. Don't trade on Mondays and see if Tuesday becomes your new Monday. Maybe it's the first trading day of the week for you. You have to find that out. So
exactly.
Oh, by the way, Walmal, somebody had posted a question for you. They wanted to know how many pips you usually average per day.
It depends, but usually somewhere in between like 25 and 35 pips a day.
Okay, yeah, that was a question out there because
yeah, I didn't see.
Yeah, it's funny.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it really depends on the day. Like, for instance, like Mondays, I'm happy to get 10 or 15 pips, to be honest with you. Again, because of my own thought patterns. And, it's funny because, like, on Thursday, talking again about behavioral type stuff, Thursday, I love Thursdays for whatever reason. I just love Thursdays. And Thursdays, I generally get, 45 pips or so. Sometimes even 50 pips. Usually not, but sometimes, and so.
Oh yeah, what was the last week you had 100 pips? Because I had 100 pip day and then you had to beat me.
It happens, but I don't know why I love trading Thursdays, and I think you hit something spot on, and that is that that idea that, well, is it Monday or is it just the first trading day of the week? And I don't know which it is, and I probably should figure that out, because if it turns out it's just Monday, then you know what? Guess what, guys? I ought to stop trading on Monday. Go, have an extended weekend and just extend my Thursday trading or something.
Yeah. But anyway, so I hope traders that this helps because you just really have to, look in the mirror and figure out what thought or belief that you have that is really holding you back. That you're in your own way, and we're all in our own way, and so it just gets back to what I say to end all these videos. It's not what you trade; it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is a rumpled one. Over and out.